almost the 1st of December. I am super excited. We've got some fun recipes to show you guys today, some super fun things to gift to some sweet friends, probably tomorrow at church. We're gonna make an easy Southern pecan praline. My grandmother used to make the old style pecan praline, which you have to have a candy thermometer and you have to do all the things. And I don't have time for that. So I am not going to do that. Let me turn off the football game real quick. It's football season, so I just got done watching the Ohio State Michigan game. What an intense game. Holy cow. That was crazy. So anyway, so yes, we're going to make some pecan pralines. Easy ones. You don't have to have a candy thermometer or anything for these. Super easy, super quick. We're going to make some fun little turtles. My husband loves this style of turtle just because they are so super easy and they're delicious. He loves them. You get that little bit of salty with a little bit of sweet. And then we're going to make some peppermint patties. It's another one of my husband's favorites. We dip these in dark chocolate and they are amazing. So we're going to get all of these things going. The turtles don't take very long and I really have to watch those. So I want to do those last just because I don't want to get sidetracked and leave them in the oven too long. So let's do our pralines first. These are going to be super easy and really, really quick to do. Turn you guys just a little bit so you can see the stove. All right, so I have 1/3 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to put that in my pot right here. And let's grab a little spatula so we can get everything out. These are so easy and they are so delicious. They are beautiful on a like a candy tray. If you want to do kind of a real fun little box, you can get these at the Dollar Tree. These are a super easy little treat to do. Put these in one of those cute little boxes from the Dollar Tree and it makes a really cute, inexpensive little treat to give to somebody for Christmas. So our 1/3 cup of heavy cream, 1/4 cup of butter, and we're gonna do 1 cup of brown sugar. And we're gonna make this and let this cook once it comes to a boil for 1 minute. And then once it finishes boiling, we're gonna put in our powdered sugar and our vanilla and our pecans, and they're done. That's just how easy these things are. Trying to get my brown sugar open. I don't know what happens to all of my scissors. Do you guys have that problem at home? I have 5 pairs of scissors. And do you think I could find 1 pair of them? No. They walk off somewhere. Grab this knife. I can just cut it open with a knife. So we're gonna do our pecan pralines first because these are super easy. And then we will do our our peppermint patties. We'll do those second, and we will save our little easy turtles for last. So there's 1 cup of brown sugar. And we're just gonna get this going on the stove. You don't want it up too high. Save that for a few minutes. I'm gonna use a rubber spatula to stir this. Hey everybody, how's it going? So we're making some fun little treats that we can give to people for Christmas. So if you just joined us, we're doing some really good easy pecan pralines, as well as some dark chocolate peppermint patties and some really fun, easy, they're like a turtle kind of, but we're making these with pretzels and Rolos and some white chocolate and some pecans, and they're going to be delicious. So if you guys are new to my channel, let me know that you're new. If you haven't subscribed, please go hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. I am trying really hard to hit 2,000 subscribers before the 1st of the year. So I would love it if you guys could help me out with that. That would mean a lot. Share my channel with your friends. Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate that. So we're just going to let this come to a boil, like I said, on a medium-low heat. And we are going to let it boil for 1 minute, and we're going to pull it off the heat And we're going to add the rest of our ingredients to this, and then we're just going to drop them on our sheet pan over here that's lined with parchment paper. And that will give them a place to set up. They'll set for probably a good hour before we can taste them. Just because they need to fully set up, and anything that's hot like this has to have a chance to set up. So we're just going to let this. So do you guys have a favorite Christmas treat? Let me know if you guys have something that you guys look forward to eating every year at Christmas time. Is there a sweet or a thanks, Mitch, I appreciate that. Is there a sweet that you guys only eat at Christmas time? There are so many that I only eat at Christmas time. I have lots and lots of them. This year for my videos for Christmas, I'm trying to stick with recipes that were from my grandmother. Things that my grandmother made when I was a kid. Because sometimes those old recipes are the best recipes. So that's what I'm trying to do, is stick with the older stuff and just kind of go back. You like them all? Yes, I like them all too. So yeah, I'm excited to make these. So if you guys are just joining, I am making some easy pecan pralines. These do not require a candy thermometer or anything like that. They're super, super easy. I've got a third of a cup of heavy cream in here, a quarter of a cup of butter, and a cup of brown sugar. And we're going to get these melted and combined. They're going to cook for 1 minute, and then we're going to put in our powdered sugar and our pecans. And then these are going to get dropped on a sheet pan, and they'll just sit here and set up until they are firm. And then we're going to make some easy like turtle candies. We're using some pretzel twist, some Rolo candies, some whole pecans, and we're going to drizzle with some white chocolate to make them look really pretty. And then we are also going to we're also, thanks Leanne, I appreciate that. We're also going to do some dark chocolate peppermint patties. Cheesecake, I love cheesecake too. Hi Robert, welcome. Leanne, I just made you a moderator, if you don't mind, since you're in here. Cheesecake truffles, I have one for cheesecake truffles. Leanne, I'll send it to you. My grandmother used to make one that is so good. In fact, I was planning to do them this year. So I'll dig it up and I'll send it to you. Because yeah, it was one of my grandfather's favorites too, was cheesecake. He loves cheesecake anything. And truffles are always so fun. Yeah, I'll dig it up for you and I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's super, super good. You can do all kinds of different flavors inside. My grandmother would do, she would do the cheesecake and she'd put peppermint extract in it, and then she'd roll those in dark chocolate. Oh my gosh, they were so good. So it was like a peppermint cheesecake rolled up inside some dark chocolate, and she always served them really cold out of the refrigerator. Super, super good. So this is almost all the way melted. We're going to let it come to a boil, and I want to cook it for 1 minute. Oh, fun. Wow, that's crazy. My husband always tells me that I need to sell my candy and stuff that I do, but I never do it. I always just love giving this stuff to people at Christmas time. So I always just make big batches and I just give it out. It's just what I do. He knows that's just me. This is already smelling super good. What could go wrong with brown sugar, heavy cream, and butter? So I'm going to just scoop these out with a teaspoon. I know. Liam, my husband says it all the time. You always sell yourself short. I'm like, I can't help it. I did though, last year, I did a fundraiser for St. Jude's Hospital, and I did a whole bunch of stuff that we auctioned off. And so all of the stuff that we auctioned off, the money that from the auction went to St. Jude's Hospital. And I think we more than reached our goal. I forget what my goal was last year for Christmas, but that was super fun. We had a lot of people participate in that, and it went to a good cause. All right, so this is starting to come to a boil. I'm going to let it cook here for 1 minute. It is 1:09 right now, so at 1:11, I'm going to pull this off. That's okay, John. So while this is cooking, I'm going to get my 1 cup of powdered sugar ready to go, because I'm going to have to dump this in pretty quick. That's one thing with making candy. Sometimes you have to be really careful with like make sure that you're watching it, make sure you're not overcooking it, all that stuff. So I'm just going to get 1 cup of powdered sugar in my measuring cup here real quick. So it's ready to go. Almost ready. You also want to be really careful when you're doing candy and you add vanilla to something that's been on the stove and hot, because it's going to bubble up when you drop it in there. So you want to be super, super careful with that. All right, we've got our 1 minute. You can see it started to thicken up a little bit. So I'm going to put my 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla in here. You can see what it's doing. It violently bubbles up like that. So we're going to put in our 1 cup of powdered sugar. Get that mixed in, and then we're going to put in our pecans, and that's all that goes in this. This is it right here. I think I'm going to grab a whisk. That powdered sugar kind of wants to clump up on me a little bit. Get that stirred up really well. Make sure we got all of our powdered sugar mixed into our candy mixture. Nobody wants to bite into a chunk of powdered sugar when you're eating a beautiful holiday candy. So it's fine if we have to take a second and get all that powdered sugar whisked in here. Just give ourselves a minute to do that. If you have to, you can take the back of your spatula and kind of mash it. I think my powdered sugar was a little bit clumpy anyway. All right, now I'm going to put in my pecans. I want 1.5 cups of whole pecans. And that's about what I have left in this bag. So we're just going to mix it just like that. Might add a few from this bag. There's nothing wrong with some extra pecans. Okay, get all this off. And then we're just going to scoop this onto our parchment paper, and they're just going to sit here and hang out and chill. These are pretty sweet, so I don't want to make them too big. You can see our mixture is already starting to thicken up. So we want to move kind of quick. We're just going to drop these by spoonfuls. And these are going to be delicious little candies. Who wouldn't want to have these in a little goodie box? Not everything that you make during the holidays has to be hard or take a lot of time. You can do things, you know, super, super easy, and people are just going to appreciate the thought, just the idea that you thought about them and that you wanted to give them a little something over the holidays. So don't let it stress you out and feel like you have to do super hard things or a lot of complicated stuff. Some of my grandmother's favorite things that she did were super simple things, and they didn't take a whole lot of effort. ingredients are so expensive right now that sometimes it is really expensive to do homemade treats and things for people. So if you can do things that don't take a whole lot of ingredients, then you're money ahead. So I might go ahead and get my oven preheating because we're going to do our turtles, I think, next, because I want those to have a chance to set up. You can make these as small or as big as you want. I'm just using a teaspoon and just dropping them on here. These are going to be super pretty. I love anything pecan, caramel, and because of the heavy cream and the vanilla and all of those things, this kind of gives you that, you know, caramely vibe, which who doesn't love that? I do. Make sure we get it all off our spoon. They're not going to spread out because we're not baking them, so you can get them a little bit close together if you need to, if you're running out of room. Kind of like I am, and I don't want to get another sheet pan out. So we're just going to make it work. But these are going to be absolutely delicious. I know some friends at church tomorrow that are going to be super excited. I used to do big batch sweets days. Hey, Cindy. And I don't do those anymore. Now I just make little batches of things throughout the holiday, and I bring people little things, little packages throughout the year instead of doing one big. That's what I used to do, and it was always so much. So I love that I do the little packages now. So here's our pecan pralines that we just made. Those are just going to hang out over here. I'm going to put them out of my way. I'm going to grab another sheet pan, put another piece of parchment on it, and we're going to start our turtles. So this is a super easy way to do these turtle candies and not have to go to a whole lot of work. My husband actually loves this specific one only because you get that little bit of salty from the pretzel, and then you get that sweet from the Rolo, and then we just put a little bit of a drizzle of dark chocolate with our whole pecans on it, and they just are absolutely delicious. They don't take a whole lot of time. They're super easy to do. So I'm just going to do a sheet pan full. I don't know how many Rolos I have in this package. So we got salted caramel dark chocolate Rolos for these. My husband is a dark chocolate fiend. And so anytime I do sweets or whatever over the holidays, I try to do as much dark chocolate as I can because that's his favorite. He is out working in the woods today with some friends, helping out an elderly couple from our church that had some severe storm damage from the ice storm we had last winter in January. So actually January of this year. We had a lot of ice here, and they suffered a lot of damage. They're both in their 70s, and they have a hard time getting out and doing things. So my husband goes and helps them on the weekends until we get their property all cleaned up and probably ready for a hard winter again because they're saying we're going to have another hard winter, which I'm not looking forward to. So we have to unwrap all of our little Rolos. This is a good project right here if you have kids. Get the kids in the kitchen with you and let them unpack or unwrap all of the little Rolos. We're just going to put these right on top of our pretzels. They don't fully cover the pretzel, but that's okay because these are going to go in the oven, and once they're in there for just a minute or two, they're going to get soft, and we're going to use our pecan to push down on the Rolos, and that's going to flatten them out a little bit. Oh, wow, 27 degrees. We got down to 29, I think last night was the low for us. So you can see how these sit on that pretzel. So when we put them on here, we put them in the oven, we're going to push, and they're going to, they'll just cover the majority of the pretzel. We went last night and saw, that was the high. We're still, today we're only at 30, what was it, 38 degrees, I think right now is what it is outside. And we have a football game today. And I really was planning to go because it's a big rivalry game for us against the Washington Huskies. But yeah, after I saw how cold it was going to be this weekend, I was like, no, I'll stay home and watch it. So I'm going to sit down tonight. Hubby and I are making fish tacos for dinner, and we're just going to hang out and watch the Ducks play the Huskies. And that's going to be a fun, energetic game. I just finished watching the Ohio State and Michigan game. That was intense. So I'm hoping that we're gonna have a much easier game tonight than what I saw with Michigan and Ohio State. So I love making goodies over the holidays. It does make you miss my grandma though. My grandma and I would make everything. I'm making some turkey stock back here. I put my carcass from Thanksgiving in there with some onion and some celery and some carrots and some other seasonings, and we're just gonna let them just cook all day long. And then tonight I'll stick it outside because it'll be cold enough, and I'll let it chill, and then I'll peel off the fat that rises to the top, and then I will package it up. I'm not going to can it this year. I'm just going to put it in Ziploc freezer bags, and I'm going to put it in my freezer because I'm going to go through it pretty quick, I'm sure. Hubby has really been in soup mode, so I'm sure we're going to go through it pretty quick. So let me know if there's what kind of Christmas goodies do you guys look forward to making or eating during the holiday season? Do you have a favorite? I have quite a few favorites. And it's funny because during the rest of the year, I am not a huge sweets eater. I'm more of a I like salty stuff, salty snacks. My husband doesn't really have a sweet tooth unless I make stuff. And when I make things, then he can't stay out of it. So I wasn't sure if I was going to get to do a live today or not. It's just been such a crazy weekend trying to clean up all the mess from Thanksgiving. Does anybody else feel that? Thanksgiving mess is always a couple of day ordeal for me. We don't do it at my house, and I think that's what makes the biggest mess, because I take things to the in-laws' house for dinner on Thanksgiving, and then when I get home, I'm just too tired to do anything, so then I do a little bit over a couple days to clean up the mess from Thanksgiving, so I'm still trying to clean it up. We went last night and watched the tree lighting over at, there's a mall over in Eugene that we went to with some friends last night, so that was super fun, getting to hang out with our friends. And we went and had Mongolian food afterwards. That was super tasty. We have a Mongolian buffet around here that you put together your own, whatever, and then they cook it for you. Oh, wow. Is hubby out is he out deer hunting? My hubby is not a hunter. He never has been. He doesn't like doing that kind of stuff. He likes the outdoors, but he's just never been a hunter. he wasn't raised around it. I think that's part of the problem. I wasn't, I mean, I guess I was kind of. My dad and my grandfather and my uncles, they hunted, but they weren't like, you know, really big into it. Oh, nice. So your husband doesn't hunt? You guys raise most of the rest of your food, don't you, Leanne? Almost got him. I'm not a big game eater. I don't really. Yes, I agree. I'm not a big game eater, neither is my husband, so I'm not, you know, people try to give us deer meat, elk meat. I'm just not, I don't know. There's just something about the flavor. I just can't get past it. So I don't, we don't usually take it when people offer it to us. We do eat a lot of fish and seafood, though. We have a really good neighbor across the street that he fishes a lot, and so when he hits the water and goes out and fishes, he usually brings us fish. So that's always kind of nice to have that. This is one of the projects that my husband usually helps me with, is doing these, because it usually takes a couple of people to do it. So oh, wow. That's crazy. I follow a channel, I don't know if you follow her, Leanne, but Lauren from This Alaska Life. She, her husband does a lot of elk hunting and moose hunting, and he just got back from a big moose hunting trip. A couple more and then we got them all. So if you guys are new, if you're just coming in, I am making some fun Christmas treats. I am getting ready to do some dark chocolate, kind of a turtle candies. I'm doing some dark chocolate sea salt Rolo candies on top of pretzels. We're going to put these in the oven just for a minute to soften that chocolate a little bit. And then we're going to finish them off with pecans and a drizzle of white chocolate, just to make them look extra pretty. I just started following her channel about a year ago. She's a really super sweet Christian lady, and I love her channel. She's got 5 kids, and she just had their little girl a year ago. She was actually pregnant with twins, and she lost one of the twins. Yes, I just did those for our Deck the Halls. All right, so these are going to go in the oven for just a minute or two, just enough to get that chocolate soft, so that I can put the pecan in the middle of it. So I have my pecans ready right here. My husband loved the Ritz with the peanut butter and the chocolate. We did dark chocolate though, because that's what he likes. But those were super tasty. So I just have a thing of white chocolate, and this is what I'm gonna melt to drizzle over the top of our turtles. And I don't need a whole bunch of it, so I'm just gonna get a little bowl, and I'll use this to melt some white chocolate. So we haven't really been going very long, and you know, I just went to the Amish discount stores for the first time a few months ago, and I found an Amish cookbook there. And I have really loved going through that and seeing so many of the fun things in that Amish book. Ignore my mess. I'm still cleaning up from Thanksgiving. So you want to watch these really close. All right, they haven't been in there very long. I'm gonna see how we're looking. Just gonna grab a whole pecan, put it on here and push it. We're not quite there, we're almost. We've got probably maybe 30 seconds more in here. Because I want to get it so I can push those down enough that the caramel starts to kind of spread from the chocolate. So they're almost there. I'm actually going to turn my oven off because I don't need my oven right now. So I found some really interesting recipes in that Amish cookbook that I've never heard before. So I'm excited to try some of those. I did see some fun candy recipes in there that I may do 1 or 2 of those this year for Christmas. But the majority of the stuff that I'm doing is things from my childhood. All right, so so we're gonna move kind of quick now. We're gonna get these put on here. Get our whole pecans put on our Rolos. Like I said, this is the part where my husband usually helps because you have to move pretty quickly. Although if you don't get them all the way done, you can put them back in the oven and melt, heat them back up again. But I don't like doing that. I want to get them all done in one shot. But these are just super easy. They're fun. If you've got kids, get your kids in the kitchen with you and do these. The kids will love them. Once we get all of our pecans on, we'll get our chocolate melted. And then our last thing that we're going to do is our peppermint patties. These firm up really nice. They hold up really well in a little gift bag. Just want to make sure I get them all. There's been times where I've missed a couple here and there. So I'm trying to find all the whole almonds. I'll save the pieces for other things. They're just so pretty. They're going to be even prettier with that drizzle of white chocolate over the pecan. I can hear my dog in the living room snoring. Almost. These actually went together really, really fast. That's what I love about this is, like I said, not everything has to be hard. Not everything has to be complicated. When my husband and I first moved out here to where we live now, I always went the hard route. And he used to laugh at me because I was always picking super hard things to do for gifts. All right, looks like we got them all. Put all these back in here. So we're just going to melt a little bit of white chocolate now just so we can put a little bit of a drizzle on these. But here's our little turtles with our chocolate on them. And I'm just going to melt this white chocolate really, really quick so we can get this drizzled. So melt this in 30-second intervals so that you don't scorch your chocolate, because that's the worst thing ever. You definitely don't want to scorch chocolate because once you scorch it, you can't go back, and it's really, really gross. I just think these are so cute. Once they firm up, they are so cute in a little gift box or whatever. They just work really well. Everybody loves them. Hubby's been still eating on the Christmas bark that we made a couple weeks ago in our live video. He loves that Christmas bark, my grandmother's jeweled Christmas bark. If you missed those recipes, I'll leave a link in this one here for the other live where we did the other treats. You guys can check those recipes out. Another 30 seconds. And like I said, the last one we're going to do is our peppermint patties. Those are going to be super easy and minimal ingredients. And that's what I like. I don't like a lot of complicated stuff anymore. Because I think when I do complicated stuff, I just lose a little bit of the fun in doing it. The fun in baking. And I don't want to do that. I want to enjoy it. All right, we're just going to mix this. These are my favorite melting chips. These white ones, the Ghirardelli, and then the dark chocolate ones are my favorite to use. I find that they melt better than any of the others. They remelt better than any of the others. So I'm just going to stir this, let the residual heat finish melting it so we don't scorch it. And then I'm just going to use my spoon. And we're just going to drizzle over the top of these. Drizzling is so fun because you don't have to do any kind of, direction. Just do whatever you want. Make it look fun. These are just going to get set aside. Just like that. There's our pretzel and Rolo turtles. They look so good. So those are just going to hang out until they're hard. We want them to set up a little bit, and then we can. Do you just do it in a double boiler? I've always done it in the microwave. I struggle with doing it in on a double boiler. Hey Karen, welcome. So glad you made it. So we just made 2 things already. We got our little pretzel turtles made with dark chocolate sea salt Rolos and pretzels, pecans, and white chocolate. We just finished those. Those are done now. And we also did a batch of pecan pralines. These are super easy. You can see they're already set up. And these are so, so good. I know that's my problem with it too. That's the reason I don't do it because it does. So I find if I do it in 30-second intervals in the microwave, I have really good luck. I only found one product that seizes on me every single time, and that's the Nestle's white chocolate chips. Those things are horrible. They seize on me every single time. No matter if I put them in the microwave or on the stovetop in a bowl, they still seize on me every single time. So I figured I can waste a lot of products, or I can just go with the, I just leave it on 100% power and I do it 30-second intervals. And it always works every single time. I've never had it seize on me. All right, so we're gonna do our peppermint patties now. I need a 1/2 cup of sweetened condensed milk. We're going to put in our peppermint extract. These are another one. These are so easy. We need a 1/2 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons of peppermint extract. These are just the white chocolate chips that Nestle has, and they seize on me every single time. So I figure it's worth it for me to spend just a little bit of extra money and get the Ghirardelli because I know those are not going to seize on me. So here's our 1 teaspoon. And then we need a 1/2. And then this recipe is so easy. I just add powdered sugar to this and stir it until it forms like a dough. And then we're just going to take little pieces of it and form it into our little peppermint patties. And then I dip them in dark chocolate, melted with just a tiny bit of coconut oil. Okay. Yeah, we get them here all the time. And they're, I don't know, I don't like them. They're horrible. So I'm just going to eyeball this, but I'll leave the recipe in the description box for you guys if you want exact measurements for this. But like I said, I'm just going to eyeball it because I kind of know what it needs to look like and how it needs to feel for me to make the little peppermint patties. I like easy things like this that make a big statement. That's what makes me happy. I like things that have a wow factor to them. And a lot of times, some of the simplest candies are the ones that have the biggest wow factor, I think, with people. They don't realize how simple it is. And they kind of think you're a genius, and I love that. I love peppermint. It just smells like the holidays to me. A little bit more. Takes quite a bit of powdered sugar to make this mixture firm up. If you end up getting a little bit too much powdered sugar, you can always add a little bit more sweetened condensed milk and then just kind of balance it out until you get it to the right texture. And I'll grab another sheet pan, and you can roll these out and cut them out into little squares, or not squares, but little triangle or round circles. That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't do that. To me, it's just, I don't want to roll it out. So I usually just take a chunk out and I'll use my hands to pat it out on the parchment paper into a little disc. And then it's fine. I'm one of these people that I like to find the shortcut that works. True. I was in the kitchen all the time with my grandmother, so she taught me a lot. I see now how many, when I was at the sorority house, the gumdrop, I'm going to make those this year. I have never made them. Well, my grandmother used to make them. I've never made them myself. So I'm excited to try those this year. I think it's going to be super fun. What's the recipe that you use, Karen? What do you use for the nougat? So this just takes a few minutes. It's not super hard. My grandmother used to make them, and I need to see if I can find her recipe. Because I had that on my list for this year of things to make. If you're just coming in, say hi. Let me know that you guys are here. Give this video a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. When you found on Pinterest? Okay. I love parchment paper. I have a bunch. I have a whole list. My hubby was laughing at me because I was making a list for, oh my gosh, the last 2 months of all the things that my grandmother used to make. So I'm going to just get in with my hands now and kind of get this mixed. I think my spatula is losing its. So I want to get this mixed up really well. Get all of my sweetened condensed milk mixed in with my powdered sugar real quick. And then we'll start forming our little peppermint discs. I look back now on how many kids, I see so many kids. When I was at the sorority house, I was just so saddened by how many girls came into the sorority house, didn't know how to cook, didn't know how to bake, didn't know how to do anything. And it just made me super sad because I think back that my grandmother was just so hands-on with me. You have lists too? I think we all do going into the holidays. We always have big lists of things we're going to make. Almost got it. Just becomes like a Play-Doh, kind of. Just use the heat from your hands to kind of shape it. And then I take little pieces of it and just use my hand to flatten it out like that. And then I just put those on my board. Now I'm probably going to chill these, so you guys may not get to see them, get to see me dip them, because they do need to chill for a little bit. Otherwise, they will fall apart, and I don't want that. So we'll make the patties together, and then, oh, I agree. We hardly ever eat out. Like rarely ever. People invite us after church on Sundays. They're, oh, we're going to go for, lunch. You guys want to come? And I'm like, no, I have lunch at home. Thanks. Because I cook. I was not raised on a lot of fast food. My grandmother cooked. And so my grandfather would not have, he would not have been okay with that. He was not a fast food guy. He was a meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes and gravy. He was a rancher. So he was big into meat, potatoes, and gravy was his thing. So we're just doing our little discs like this, and then we're going to put these in the refrigerator, let them chill a little bit before I try to dip them in the chocolate, because if I try dipping them now, they're a little bit soft and they just wouldn't hold up very well. Plus, when you freeze them, you can freeze them or refrigerate them, either one. When you do that, it's cold, so it helps the chocolate set up a little bit faster. But these are going to be delicious. I'll post a picture for you guys tonight on the community page and let you see what these look like after I get them all dipped. So what's everybody making for Christmas for treats? Do you give them out to people? You made the peppermint patties? I make them quite often. My husband likes anything dark chocolate. Oh, that's a good point, Leanne. So my cousin is, a good portion of my family is Seventh-day Adventist. I'm not, but part of my family is. And they don't shop. They don't do anything on Saturdays, because Saturdays is their Sabbath. And they don't do anything like that. We try not to on Sundays. We try to make sure that we're set up for Sunday on Saturday, so that after church, either we come home and we spend the day together, and I usually have something in the crock pot, or I have something that we can make. Sometimes we'll have leftovers, and that's what we do. But we love having people over after church. Reindeer chow. I've never made reindeer chow. I have it on my list for this year. I love having people over after church. To me, that is just It's just the best way to spend a Sunday. Especially if I can spoil my pastor. if I can spoil my pastor, that makes it even better. Him and his wife both work at our church, and so Sundays are their day of rest. So they try not to cook or do anything on Sundays. It's pretty much family day for them. They have 2 boys, and so it's pretty much a day for them to spend time with their kids. Couple more to make. We'll see. I might be able to have these just sit in the freezer for a minute or two, and then we may be able to dip them. These are just so good. Like I said, they're one of my husband's absolute favorites that I make because he loves that dark chocolate and peppermint together. One more. Get this stuff off the bottom of the bowl mixed up. So what are your favorite cookies to make for Christmas, Karen? I have a few that I'm going to make this year that I haven't made. There were some my grandmother used to make, and so I'm excited to make some new stuff this year that I haven't made before myself. That turkey broth smells so good. So I go to the Dollar Tree and I get some of their little gift boxes typically. That's my favorite way to do it. It just makes it easy. And I just do 1 box per family usually. I'm going to wash my hands real fast. All right, let me stick these in the freezer for just a second and see if I can firm them up enough and maybe we can dip them. All right, I'm gonna let those sit in there for just a second, and I'm gonna melt some dark chocolate, and then maybe we'll be able to get these dipped. I'm just adding to my big mess from Thanksgiving that I have to clean up. It's a never-ending mess. Too many to name. I do that too, and hubby yells at me. He's always telling me that I need to stop doing that because I just end up making way too many. And so now that I'm doing cookies every year for the church for Christmas Eve, he has to remind me that yes, I'm doing a lot of cookies, but that doesn't mean that I need to do, 25 different kinds. I know I wanted to try to get a cookie exchange going at our church this year. We just didn't have time to get it planned. I love that. I had a cookie platter that somebody gave me one year for Christmas with some beautiful stuff on it. And they said, you don't have to give it back to me, but, give it to somebody else, put goodies on it and give it to somebody else. And they they lost the plate. So unfortunately, the tradition ended with them, which was super sad. Oh yeah, I should show you the ones that I got. Thanks for reminding me, Leanne. Let me grab them. So I'll leave a link in the description box for these because they are super cute. So there's this one right here with the little cute reindeer on it. There is this one right here. And this one right here. And the last one, there's 4 different ones in here. But these all come in a package. I forget how many bags are in this, but there's a lot. And it's always, I love getting to find, you know, new things to put my goodies and stuff in. So when that company reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try their bags, I was like, yes, please. So I am trying them out this year to see how I like them. Oh, that's awesome. I should do that. I've seen them at the discount or the thrift stores too, but I've never bought any. But that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about getting them, and then it doesn't matter. I love the idea though, Leanne, of doing the group chat. Thankfully our church is not super big. We used to go to a really big church. Our church was 2,500 people, the one we went to years and years ago, and it was just too big. And so the one we go to now, we're at about 350, I think. So it's still, I mean, it's still decent size, but it's not huge. All right, so I have my dark chocolate. Let me check those. I think they should be ready. My freezer is pretty cold. So yeah, let's see if we can dip a few of these and how they're gonna turn out in our dark chocolate. Let's check them. Actually, I think I need a fork. I think a fork will make it easier to tap the chocolate off of them. Oh, 20 families. That's actually really nice that it's not super big. All right, so I'm going to just tap my mints on my bowl to get the excess off. I'm going to drop them on here. I have these fun little peppermint candies from, I think I got them I might have actually got them on Amazon if I remember right. And so I'm just going to sprinkle some on top, just so you know they're peppermint. And I'm going to move fairly quickly with these. See how many I can get done here in just a few minutes, because I don't like having these lives go too long. This is always the easiest part of it, dipping, and it's always super relaxing. Turn on some Christmas music and just hang out. That's what I do. I love it. Even just that couple minutes that I put them in the freezer, it actually really helped out a lot. So these are going to have to completely set up now before you touch them. Our turtles aren't fully set up either. The pralines are set up because we did those first. I probably should have done these first. So they would have been set up before we ended the live, but that's okay. At least you guys get to see them. I'll let you know what hubby thinks of them. See how many I can get done with the dark chocolate that I've got. And if I can't get them all, that's fine. I'm just going to do as many right here as I possibly can. Just real quick. So I am going to end up doing probably more of these because everybody loves these. So I'll probably end up doing probably a couple batches of these. This sounds horrible. I don't give treats to everybody at church. I know that sounds awful, but I just don't. One, it's expensive, and two, it's a lot of time. And so I do it for a few of our family gets it because they enjoy it. And then we have some special people at church that are just really special friends. And they're the ones that we give goodies and stuff to. So yeah, we're almost out of dark chocolate. So I'm just going to do probably one more. And then I think I'm going to call it. I'll have to melt some more dark chocolate. I'll get that done in a little bit. But I just want to make sure I got some of them done for you guys so you can see what they look like. They're super pretty. And they look really, really pretty on a Christmas plate, in a goodie box, you know, whatever you want to do. So there's a few of the peppermint patties that we did with our little peppermint sprinkles on them. And these are just going to hang out. I've got 2, 4, 6, I have 8 more to dip. So I'll finish melting the rest of that dark chocolate and to get the rest of those done. But I think we got a good jump on a few things. These are super fun and easy recipes you guys can do, super easy to share with your loved ones or your friends or your neighbors or whatever. I know I've told this story several times. My grandmother was the biggest inspiration for me in the kitchen. And we always made goodie baskets, platters, trays, boxes, all the things for people that came to her house and did work. Or if they came to her house at all, like the mailman, the garbage man, the UPS driver, you know, any of those kinds of things. She always made sure that she had a box for them around Christmas time. And we would put a whole bunch of stuff into it for her or for them, all homemade stuff. And they all loved it. And we always, back then, I think back in those days, you had people that stuck with jobs a lot longer than they do now. And so we had the same guy every year, forever, my whole childhood, I think. And so that was always kind of fun because he knew to expect it because he knew that my grandmother was going to have something special for him when he came close to Christmas. And he loved getting to take it home to his family. And so when I was at the sorority house, the last 6 years that I was there, I had a boss that let me do this. And so for our vendors and that kind of stuff, I always made them. My morning cook and I would make some fun stuff. She made incredible salsa. So she'd make some homemade salsa. We'd make some cookies and some little candies and treats and things. And we would always give those people something just to thank them because, you know, they do work hard. And you do want to make sure that you let them know that you appreciate what they do. So giving them even just a little baggie with a few of those pralines in it would just be something to make somebody smile. So that's just, for me, that's how I do it around the holidays. I love getting to treat people, even if it's just a few little things. It's just something to say, thank you for being in my life. Thank you for, being my friend, or thank you for being in my family or whatever. And so I always think that's really nice. So anyway, so friends, I think this is where we're going to end the live. We've been on here a little over an hour now, and I don't want to take up any more people's Saturday. I have a mess to clean up in my kitchen. Football game's coming on in a couple hours. I want to get ready for that, get our fish tacos ready for dinner. Hubby will be home in a couple hours. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me and making some fun treats. This was a lot of fun. I loved getting to hang out with you guys today and try some new stuff or make some recipes I haven't made for a little while and hang out in the kitchen together. So I'll see you guys probably next Saturday. There may be another live later this week. I'll let you guys know in the community tab on my YouTube. I'll let you guys know there, and also on my Instagram if we're going to do another live later in the week. I've been trying to do a couple a week if I can squeeze it in. So I'll let you guys know. So just pay attention to that community tab or my Instagram and you guys will see. So friends, thanks again for coming and hanging out. It was a lot of fun. I love getting to hang out with you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button up there and give this video a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you guys in the comments. Have a great day, friends. God bless.